You barely eat any sugar, no candy, no soda. You're doing everything right. So why are you standing in front of the pantry at 3 in the afternoon like a woman possessed, looking for something, anything sweet? My friend, that's not a willpower issue. There's a reason you're standing there looking for something sweet and dealing with these cravings, and it's physical. And it probably starts with something you had for breakfast this morning. So let me show you what we're dealing with. Welcome to the Feel Better, Live Free podcast, brought to you by Thinlicious. I'm your host, Lisa Joy Thompson, and every week we bring you the science, the stories, and the straight talk you need to feel better and live free. From real food to hormone health to breaking free from yo-yo dieting for good. This is the show for every woman who's ready to stop surviving and start thriving. Settle in, friend. What you're about to hear might just change everything. Welcome back to the podcast. I am so glad you're here today, and I want to start with something I hear so often from conversations with my friends. Women tell me all the time, Lisa, I don't even eat that much sugar, and yet I still crave it constantly. I feel like I'm doing everything right, and I still find myself standing in front of the pantry at night looking for something sweet. And if that's you, I need you to hear me say this before we go one step further. You are not weak. You don't have a discipline problem. There is something physical happening in your body that nobody ever explained to you. And once you understand it, everything about those cravings will totally make sense. And I'm going to warn you now, later in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the list of foods where this sugar is actually hiding. And some of them are going to sting a little because they're probably sitting in your kitchen right now and you bought them on purpose because you thought they were the healthy choice. I know, because I bought every single one of them too. So stay with me all the way to the end because that list is the part that changes what you put in your cart and in your mouth this week. All right, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story because when I was at my heaviest, and honestly, for quite a while before that, I would have told you I ate pretty well. I wasn't sitting around eating candy bars. I was eating what I had been told was the healthy choice. Yogurt, oatmeal, low-fat this. I was eating lean cuisine meals. I was eating popcorn. I was eating all these things that I thought were good for me. And let me give you the picture because I think some of you are going to see yourself in this. A lot of mornings, I'd start the day with a bowl of healthy cereal, the kind with a really wholesome sounding name and whole grains right there on the box. And then I'd pour skim milk over it because of course I did. I mean, we were all told fat was the enemy. And then because I was really trying to be healthy and make sure I got all the nutrients I needed, I would slice a banana on top of it, right? Because banana's fruit and fruit is good for you. And there were also smoothies. I loved my green smoothies. I felt so virtuous making them. Spinach, a banana or two, some pineapple, strawberries. And if I was feeling extra healthy, I would add some yogurt on top of all of that. I mean, it was green. It had spinach in it. How could that possibly be a problem? And this one gets me when I look back. It's kind of crazy. I used to travel with packets of maple brown sugar oatmeal in my bag on almost every trip because I thought I was being so smart. I thought I'm not going to get stuck eating out on the road, so I'm going to bring my own healthy breakfast with me. I mean, if you look back, you would see a woman who was really trying. I was planning ahead. I was doing the work. And yet I was miserable. I was exhausted all the time. I'd hit the afternoon and feel like somebody had just unplugged me. And I craved sugar constantly. And I mean constantly. I'd fight it all day long. And some days I'd win. And a lot of days I wouldn't. And every time I gave in, I made it mean something about me, that I had no self-control, that I was weak, that other women could clearly handle this, and I just wasn't strong enough. So hold on to that picture for me, the cereal with the banana, the green smoothie, the oatmeal packets in my bag, because I couldn't for the life of me figure out what I was doing wrong. And in a few minutes, once I explain what's actually happening inside your body when you eat that way, we're going to come back to that breakfast together and I'm going to show you exactly what was going on. It's not what I thought, not even close. So let me explain what's really going on when you eat this way, because this is the part nobody ever sat me down and told me. And I'm going to start all the way at the beginning because I don't want to assume you already know any of this. So if you've been around here for a while, stay with me because I'm going to take you somewhere with it. Here's the first thing, and it's the piece that changes everything once you get it. Sugar isn't just the white stuff in the bowl. When you eat carbohydrates, your body breaks them down into sugar. That's what carbohydrates are. That is literally what your body does with them. And carbohydrates aren't just bread and pasta. It's rice and cereal and oats and crackers and chips and potatoes and fruit and juice and most of what is sitting in the middle aisles of your grocery store. Now, some carbohydrates break down slowly because they come packaged with fiber and fat and protein that slow the whole process down. And some of them break down fast because that fiber has been stripped out or ground up or cooked away. Those are the ones I want you to pay attention to, and I'm going to call them fast carbs today, just so we have a name for them. Fast carbs are the ones that turn into sugar in your body almost immediately. White bread, cereal, instant oatmeal, juice, anything blended, anything refined, anything that goes down easy. And here's the part that matters. Your body doesn't read labels. Your body doesn't care whether something is marketed as healthy or organic or all natural or heart smart. It doesn't know that you bought it in the health food aisle. It just takes what you gave it and turns it into sugar. And if it was a fast carb, it does it really, really fast. So that bowl of oatmeal, sugar as far as your body is concerned, that flavored yogurt, often more sugar in it than a dessert, the whole grain toast, the granola, the fruit smoothie, the protein bar in your purse, your body is turning all of it into sugar and it's doing it really fast. So you can be eating what you sincerely believe is a clean, healthy diet and be feeding your body a steady stream of sugar all day long without ever once even touching a cookie. Now here's the second piece, and this is the one that explains your afternoon. When you eat those fast carbs, your blood sugar shoots up and your body doesn't like that. So it releases insulin to pull that sugar out of your blood and store it away. But here's the thing. Your body tends to overcorrect. It brings that blood sugar down hard. And now you're lower than where you started. And when your blood sugar crashes, your body panics a little. It needs that number to come back up and it needs it to do it quickly. So it sends out a little signal. And that signal is not a polite suggestion. It is a demand. I want you to think about what that actually feels like because I bet you know it well. It's not a gentle little thought about how a cookie might be nice. It's urgent. It's loud. It pulls you up out of your chair and walks you to the kitchen while some part of your brain is standing there going, what are we doing? We just ate. That's not you being weak. That is your body in a genuine emergency asking you for the fastest fuel it can find. You wouldn't call a woman weak for drinking water when she's dehydrated. This is the same thing. Your body is asking and it's not asking nicely. So please hear me on this. That craving is not a character flaw. It is not weakness. It is a physical demand from a body whose blood sugar just fell off a cliff. You're not failing to resist. Your body is asking you for something it genuinely believes it needs. And that's a completely different problem, and it has a completely different solution. And here is the third piece, the part that makes this whole thing so cruel. Remember what insulin does? When insulin is up doing its job, your body is in storage mode. It's putting energy away, not burning it. So every single time you ride that spike and crash, you're not just setting yourself up for the next craving, you're also parking your body in fat storage mode. You're craving and storing at the very same time all day long while eating what you believe is a healthy diet. And it gets louder over time. The more you ride that roller coaster, the more your body gets used to running on quick sugar and the harder those crashes hit. This is the reason why so many women tell me the cravings feel worse now than they did 10 years ago. It's not that you got weaker, you've just been on the ride longer. So now let's go back to that bowl of cereal I told you about, because now you have everything you need to see it the way I couldn't see it for years. Cereal. It's a fast carb and it turns into sugar almost immediately. Skim milk poured over it, which has all the natural sugar of milk and none of the fat that would have slowed it down because we took the fat out on purpose. And then a banana sliced on top. And a banana is one of the highest sugar fruits there is, especially a ripe one. So that's a fast carb on a fast carb on a fast carb. And there's almost no protein and almost no fat anywhere in that bowl to steady any of it. That breakfast sent my blood sugar straight up. Insulin came rushing in to clear it out, and by 10 in the morning, I had crashed and I was starving. And by 2 in the afternoon, I would have done just about anything for something sweet every single day. And I thought that was a me problem. Same with the green smoothie. When you blend fruit, you break down all the structure that would have slowed it down. So my spinach, banana, pineapple, strawberry smoothie was really several servings of the sweetest fruits there are, liquefied with nothing to slow them, going down in about 90 seconds on an empty stomach. That is not a health drink. That is a sugar delivery system with a little spinach in it for decoration. And I was so proud of myself. And let's talk about those oatmeal packets that I hauled around the country in my suitcase. Instant oatmeal is a fast carb to begin with, and the flavor was maple brown sugar. It said it right on the front. I was starting every travel day on a blood sugar roller coaster and then wondering why I felt awful and couldn't stop snacking by the afternoon. So here's what I want you to really hear. I wasn't lazy. I wasn't weak. I was doing the very best I could with the information I'd been giving my entire life. The information was just wrong. And when you finally get the right information, everything you've been blaming yourself for suddenly makes perfect sense. And I'm guessing that you're not lazy and you're not weak and you've been dealing with the same wrong information. So let's set the record straight. This is the part I told you to stay for. If you are somewhere where you can pause and walk into your kitchen, do it, because I want you to actually look at these while I talk. And if you're driving, just save this episode and come back to it later. Okay, here are the usual suspects. Flavored yogurt. This is the big one, and it breaks my heart a little because so many of us were eating it every single day, thinking it was the healthiest thing on the shelf. A single little cup of flavored yogurt can have as much sugar as a candy bar. Go look. Go pull one out of your fridge right now and turn it around. Oatmeal, especially the instant packets. Those flavored packets are sugar on top of a food that already turns into sugar quickly. That's a double hit first thing in the morning, right when you're setting the tone for your entire day. And if the flavor has a name like maple brown sugar, it's telling you exactly what is in there. Granola and granola bars. Granola has one of the healthiest reputations of any food in the store, and it is often just sugar and oil holding hands. Same with most bars in the checkout line, no matter what the wrapper promises you. Smoothies, and yes, I'm talking about the green ones too, the ones that look so healthy. A smoothie can be several servings of the sweetest fruit blended into a drinkable form with no fat and no protein to slow any of it down. It hits your bloodstream like a freight train. And unfortunately, a handful of spinach doesn't cancel out 3 servings of fruit, no matter how green it looks in the glass. Next up, we have protein bars. Read the label. This makes me so crazy when I look at what is in so many protein bars. A lot of them are glorified candy bars that are wearing gym clothes. Seriously, it's so frustrating when you realize what is in these protein bars. Next up, we've got sauces and dressings. And this one is so sneaky because if you look at barbecue sauce and ketchup and teriyaki and most bottled salad dressings and pasta sauce, you're eating like a beautiful piece of chicken and a salad, and you could be drowning both in sugar without even realizing it. And now we go back to where I started, breakfast cereal, including the ones with the healthy sounding names and the pictures of grain on the box. You already know what happens when you pour milk over it and slice a banana on top. It's just a disaster. Okay, now this is not one that I personally struggle with because I don't drink coffee, but I know so many of you have come to me frustrated over coffee drinks. The flavored creamers, the syrups, the drive-through order that is closer to a milkshake than a coffee. For a lot of women, that is the single biggest source of sugar in their whole day, and it doesn't even register as food. Now, I'm not saying all of this to make you feel bad about what's in your kitchen or what you've been grabbing at the drive-through or what you've been eating. I promise. I am saying it because you can't fix what you can't see. And most of us have been trying to cut sugar while eating it all day long without knowing. All right. Now, I know exactly what some of you are thinking right now because it's the question I get every single time I talk about this. Lisa, what about fruit? Are you telling me fruit is bad now? Because fruit is natural. It grew on a tree and God made it. So let me be really clear because I don't want you walking away from this episode afraid of an apple. Fruit is real food. It comes with fiber and water and actual nutrients, and that fiber slows everything down so it doesn't hit your system the same way a candy bar does. Whole fruit is not the enemy here, but there is a difference between eating a whole piece of fruit and doing what most of us have been doing with fruit, because when you blend 4 servings of fruit into a smoothie, you strip out that structure and turn it into a sugar delivery system. When you eat the fruit-flavored yogurt, that is not fruit. That's sugar with a picture of a strawberry on the package. Dried fruit is concentrated, so you can eat a whole lot of it without feeling like you ate much of anything. And juice is basically sugar water with a health halo on it. So here's a simple way to think about this. Eat the fruit. Eat it whole, eat it with some protein or some fat alongside it so it doesn't spike your insulin and blood sugar. If you're going to eat fruit, eat an apple with a handful of nuts, or eat berries with real plain, full-fat Greek yogurt. That is different from a smoothie on an empty stomach at 7 in the morning, and your body knows the difference. And honestly, once your body heals and you're not on the roller coaster anymore, fruit stops being complicated at all. So I'm sure you're wondering, okay, that's great, but what do I actually do about this? And I want to be really clear. None of this is about white knuckling harder. So step 1, this is the big one. Start your day with protein instead of carbs. If you never board the roller coaster in the morning, you don't have to fight your way off of it all afternoon. Start with eggs or sausage, chicken thighs from last night's dinner. Honestly, whatever real protein you have. When you start your day with protein, your blood sugar stays steady from the first meal, and that 3 o'clock desperation doesn't show up the same way. Most women are shocked at how fast this actually works. Step 2. Start turning packages around and looking at the grams of sugar, not the claims on the front. The front of the box is marketing. The back of the box is the truth. You don't have to become obsessive about it. Just start looking, because once you see it, you can't unsee it. And you'll start making different choices without even trying that hard. Step 3, stop trying to out-willpower the craving and start removing the thing that causes it. This is the whole shift. If you spend your energy fighting the craving at 3 in the afternoon, you're showing up to the fight way too late and your body's going to win. You beat the craving at breakfast. You beat it by not spiking in the first place. And step 4, this is the honest one. When you cut this stuff out, the first few days are not going to feel great. Your body's been running on quick sugar and it's going to ask for it loudly. You may feel tired or foggy, maybe a little cranky. This is normal and it doesn't last long. Push through those first few days, because on the other side of them is something I genuinely wish I could hand every single one of you. Quiet. The craving stops shouting. Food stops running your day. You can walk past the pantry and not even think about it. I remember when that happened to me and I could hardly believe it was possible. So here's what I want you to take with you today. You were never weak. You were riding a blood sugar roller coaster that nobody ever told you that you were on, and you're blaming yourself for the ride. That's not a discipline problem. That's an information problem. And now you have the right information. So here's what I want you to do. Just tomorrow morning, just breakfast, one meal. Eat protein instead of the cereal or the oatmeal or the smoothie. And then pay attention to what happens at 3 in the afternoon. You don't have to take my word for any of this. You can let your own body show you. That's how I finally believed it, and I have watched women tell me that one single change was the thing that cracked the whole thing open for them. And before you go, if something in this episode landed for you today, would you do me a quick favor? Hit subscribe or follow wherever you're listening, because that's what we do here every single week. We take the things you've been quietly blaming yourself about for years, and we find out what was actually going on. And I'd hate for you to miss the next one. And if you have another second, leave a rating and a review. Takes just 30 seconds, and it's one of the biggest things you can do to help another woman who's feeling exhausted and stuck to find this show. When you leave a review, you're reaching back and pulling the next woman forward. So thank you. It means more than you know. And if you're ready to get off that roller coaster for good, that is exactly what our TAS system is built to walk you through, step by step. You can check it out anytime at getthinlicious.com/thin-adapted-system. I'll leave the URL in the show notes. Thank you for being here with me today. I hope you will have a fabulous week. Take good care of yourself, and remember, you were made to feel better and live free.